What up, Hoopers? Welcome into NBA Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Chase Senior. Coming up, an NBA News and Rumors Mailbag, where I take all of your questions during our live show on Monday. So without further ado, let's get to these questions. Honest Laker fan, one of our most loyal viewers here at Chat Sports, saying, Isiah Thomas to the Lakers. Possibly. There's been rumored interest that the Lakers want Isiah Thomas. I think that they can go after a better option in free agency like an Avery Bradley or a Rajon Rondo. I think IT can still score the basketball, can't really do anything else in addition to that. So we'll see. I'm rooting for IT to be back in the league. He's been tearing it up in some Pro-Ams as well as the Drew League, but let's be real. Those leagues, it's not the NBA. Rakhem Sportz, what if the Sixers, Lakers, Blazers do a three-way trade sending Westbrook to the Sixers, Dame to the Lakers, and Ben and picks to the Blazers? Honestly, I think it would work because all of their base salaries are in the neighborhood of one another. I just don't think the Lakers are going to send away Russell Westbrook after trading for him and giving up all those assets. I would love for Damian Lillard to be on the Sixers. I would hate for Russell Westbrook to be on the Sixers because I don't think that that is a team that can get out of the first round in the playoffs. Ben and picks to the Blazers. If they want to rebuild, I think that's a decent package, but I don't think the Lakers are trading away Russ, and that's when that deal stops. Bronze Ben Simmons, is Kyrie a top 3 point guard in the NBA? My gosh, I've never been a big Kyrie guy simply because you can't rely on him, and he's a little bit flaky for me. So I would say no. I don't think Kyrie is a top 3 point guard in the NBA. XavierReks, what do you think is a good move for the Celtics to do before entering the season? And what about Isiah Thomas returning back? Isiah Thomas back to the Celtics, now that you re-signed Marcus Smart, Peyton Pritchard played really well in the NBA Summer League, you got Dennis Schroeder on a steal, less than $6 million for this upcoming year, it doesn't really make sense to bring back Isiah Thomas. Now, if Brad Stevens and Ime Udoka look at that roster right now and they're like, you know what, we could use a scoring guard to come in off the bench and we don't expect him to play night in, night out, maybe that makes sense. What do I think is a good move for the Celtics to make? Not pay Robert Williams more than $50 million. Ian Dudge, Celtics receive Dame, Blazers receive Smart and Jaylen Brown. If you're a Celtics fan and you want Damian Lillard on the Celtics roster, it's really the only deal that you can make to get that deal done. Sending away Marcus Smart as well as Jaylen Brown. That's it. Don't come at me with any other player options that currently are on that roster right now. If I'm the Blazers, I'm not doing it. And you can't be delusional about what you give up for one of the best scorers that we've ever seen. So if the Celtics want Damian Lillard seriously, they have to be serious about who they trade away. And it would have to be, seriously, Marcus Smart or Jaylen Brown. Let me ask you this question for everybody watching right now. Your favorite free agency signing, who is it? Was it a big name like Kyle Lowry or Chris Paul? Do you like what the Knicks did, kind of pivoting from plan A to plan B and bringing back some of their own? Let me know right now. DubNation 69, great number at the back half of that. Any Klay Thompson update, DubNation, #NBA. Yeah, the update from Klay Thompson, or for Klay Thompson, I should say, is that he's progressing nicely in his rehab. There have been a lot of videos put out on social media of him doing some on-court activities, doing some back and forth from baseline to baseline, draining some threes. And last week, it was said, according to some reports, that the Warriors are targeting a Christmas Day return for Klay Thompson. I can't think of a better present than to get Klay Thompson back on that starting five. We'll see. Here at Chat Sports, of course, we have a main Chat Sports YouTube channel, which we're approaching quickly, 270,000 subscribers as a company, but also we now have six NBA team channels. So if you're a fan of some of these team channels, make sure you subscribe because we're pushing out multiple videos every week for potentially one of your favorite teams. And if they aren't one of your favorite teams, maybe you just like to keep tabs on the Lakers, the Warriors, the Mavericks. The subscription links are being filtered at the bottom of your screen thanks to producer extraordinaire Jack Lauderay. Lakers report, we're almost at 40,000 subs. Warriors today, more than 21,000. Mavericks almost at 15K. 3 of our newer channels. Celtics has been around for a little while, growing very quickly. We're trying to get to 10K. Knicks and 76ers channels. Knicks now, Sixers now. We launched those a little more than a month ago already. Knicks, nearly 2,000 subscribers. Sixers, almost 1,600 subscribers. All of those subscription links are also in the description of this video. Subscribe to those team channels right now and show us some love here at Chat Sports. Jeremiah Jonathan with this question: Curry and Steph enough to get a ring? You mean, yeah, they're both the same guys. So, no, it's not enough to get a ring because Steph Curry can't be duplicated in a gene pool. So if you meant to say Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, is that enough to get a ring? I mean, that's basically kind of what the roster is right now. I think that they could be a Final Four team in the Western Conference, maybe even a Final Four team in the NBA if Klay Thompson is able to stay healthy. Man, I don't know how to say this. Wow, João Ferreira. I really apologize if I mispronounced that. Sorry about that if I did do so, but I do appreciate you watching us here on NBA Now. Can the Bulls trade Markkanen for Miles Bridges and the trade exception with the Hornets? According to Shams, this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, the Charlotte Hornets have shown some interest in Lauri Markkanen. Now that rumored interest has somewhat stalled, and those talks have kind of came to a halt. I would like Markkanen on Charlotte. He's still in his mid-20s. He's a big guy who can shoot. I still think he has a lot of value. Theo B, Houston Rockets, what will their starting 5 be, and will they make the playoffs? Starting 5 is kind of hard to predict right now because we're so early in the process. Let me say this about the Houston Rockets. They're the biggest winners of the NBA draft, in my opinion, because in the first 25 picks, they got a very good wing scorer, who I think can average 20 points per game this year in Jalen Green. Usman Garuba, one of the best defensive players in this draft class. Josh Christopher looked like Drew Holiday light. And then Alperen Şengün was tearing it up in the NBA Summer League. So you got your center, a wing scorer, a guard in Josh Christopher, and a really good defender in Usman Garuba. Now, are all of those guys going to start on a roster that also features Kevin Porter Jr., as well as Christian Wood and John Wall? They'll probably come in off the bench, but I do like the Rockets as a young, up-and-coming team right now. Are you subscribed to us here at Chat Sports? Let me know. If you are, type B for brave. If you're scared, type S. Hopefully none of you are scared, so hit that red subscribe button down below for the best, most informative, educational, and entertaining NBA coverage right here on the internet. Cal Kestis 11. Goran Dragic to the Mavs. Got to make it happen. I'm with you. I'm a fan of Goran Dragic going to the Dallas Mavericks. I'd like to see Dragic, the Slovenian, team up with the Slovenian and Luka Doncic. I look at what the Mavericks need right now within that roster. I think it is another playmaking guard who can realistically play on ball and off ball. I understand you have Jalen Brunson. I understand him and Goran Dragic are similar players, but I think Dragic as a playmaker, as a guy who Luka really likes, could add a lot to the Mavericks roster. So do you think the Mavericks should go after Goran Dragic? Let me know right now. Type Y for yes, type N for no. All the MFFLs, get those votes in the comment section. Janric, Floyd, can the Bulls get a championship this decade? Well, for that front office, it would be the hope that the team right now can compete over the next decade, because in a decade, it's not going to be the same organization. Maybe Patrick Williams is the only player left, maybe Zach LaVine, but I highly doubt it. The better question is, can the Bulls compete for a championship over the next 5 years? I have a lot of concerns about them defensively. Offensively, though, they're going to be able to get it done. Starting lineup of Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Vucevic, it's going to be very, very good. Let's get to this question and pivot on from Marquis Robertson, Chase Sr. Marquis Robertson, do you see the Lakers trading Marc Gasol? No, I don't think so, because I think he fills a need on that team right now. I mean, the backup center that you have is Dwight Howard, and you can't rely on two guys in the twilight of their careers at the center spot, or you can't rely on only one of them, so you have to have two. Joel Thompson, can the Celtics make the conference finals again this season? I know some people are down on Boston. I'm not one of those people. I think anytime you have two of the best wing players in the league, you have an opportunity to compete for championships year in, year out. Jason Tatum, top 10 player for me right now. Jaylen Brown, one of the best two-way players in the league. Outside of that, it's not like they're incredibly deep with premier talent. They certainly don't have a big three. But Tatum, Brown, they can lead you to the promised land, in my opinion. Robert Bruce, thank you for this question. Hello, Jack. Hello, Chase. Hello, Robert. Great job with all of the moves that Celtics have made. Do you think they would improve enough to be a 4 seed or better, please? Yeah, I think I just answered that question on that previous question. I do think the Celtics, because they're a winning organization with a proud history, proud franchise, they always carry themselves in a very intelligent manner. They're always going to be in the thick of things in the East. So I think they can be a top 4 team in the East, no doubt, and I think they can compete for an Eastern Conference crown. Goran Dragic to the Mavs. What do you think about the Reggie Bullock fit with the Mavs? Obviously, you're a big Mavs fan, and I'm going to tell you, I like the Reggie Bullock fit. I thought the price that you got him at was better than what the Knicks paid for Alec Burks. I like the value of Reggie Bullock, floor stretcher, guy who can consistently knock down threes. I like his energy. I like his defensive ability as well. He is a player that fits in nicely with Luka Doncic. And at that price tag of around $10 million per year, I liked it. Wrestling the Wilkinsons. Will the Suns make it back to the finals in the next 2 years? Man, the West is just so competitive this year. And some things fell in the Suns' favor with AD going down in the first round series, no Jamal Murray second round, no Kawhi Leonard third round. I don't think that should take away from what the Suns accomplished because that team is very good. They were the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, so they got it done in the regular season as well as in the playoffs. They are going to be in the conversation over the next 2 years. That is how I will answer that question. Flashy Passer, what is your favorite team? Grew up in Philly, Westchester to be exact. Shout out to the 6'10", the 4'8", and the 215. So my favorite team, it's the Sixers. I grew up huge Allen Iverson fan, so much so I wanted cornrows and tattoos. My mom didn't let me, though. Richard Rogers, any chance Zach LaVine is traded? That is the final question in this mailbag. I think the Bulls, given how aggressive they were in the offseason of signing Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, good draft pick of Patrick Williams 2 years ago out of Florida State. They traded for Vucevic at the NBA trade deadline last year. I think they're going to be aggressive, obviously with the moves that they have already made, but also in trying to pursue a contract extension with Zach LaVine. You have to, right? You can't let Zach LaVine walk. So I think the Bulls are going to try to lock him down. If they do want to trade him, they could get a lot back because Zach LaVine, he's one of the best bucket getters in the NBA today. Name a player you want your team to trade for. That is my final question before we get out of here on this mailbag. Let me know right now a player you want your squad to trade for.